good to connect with you again. And I know, we had such a great conversation when we talked about customer service in really challenging times. I thought I would just kind of continue to pick your brain, maybe over some coffee or tea, and maybe we could just have a chat, and just have a chat about a couple of things. And, I think as you and I have continued to get to know each other, we've talked quite a bit about migration, right? And especially coming out of that crisis conversation we had, the importance of cloud when it comes to be able to respond to that. So just wanted to tap into, your experience, but I think maybe what's most important is making sure we talk about what is on-prem versus the cloud, and making sure we're working from the same understanding.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about it. It's what I live and breathe all day. So go ahead, shoot. What do we want to talk about?
Yeah. So when you think about some things of how you're seeing organizations really think about their transformation, what are some of those kind of first things that come to mind for them? Is it, the physical space? Is it a fear of going to cloud? Like, how do they start to think about some of these things?
Well, one of the reasons that people want to migrate to the cloud is because they no longer want to maintain a server room. That's one of the reasons that I find. It's companies are slowly realizing that, their business is not IT. They do have a core competency in something other than IT. And why are they maintaining this IT stuff instead of focusing on the business itself? I always look back and I always find it amazing when I'm walking around at lunch downtown and you look at these tall buildings with a window in each, and in each window, at one point in time, there was an Exchange server in each and every window. And that just, now with everybody having their Exchange servers hosted by Microsoft predominantly, I mean, that just, it's mind-blowing to think at one point there was a job in every single one of those offices to maintain a mail server. And now we don't have that anymore. And the same is now happening with these line of business applications, like with Dynamics.
Yeah. And I think too, even now we're seeing organizations even in Canada come out and say, hey, we're not going to maintain any form of physical space anymore. People are seeing the light on remote work and saying, hey, maybe we don't need the physical space, or it's going to look dramatically different. And I think a lot of them are also recognizing the cost savings of not having to maintain such a large footprint as well.
Right? I agree. I mean, you had to maintain, you think about these server rooms that have fire suppression systems. You've got security involved. It even impacted your year-end audit, because your year-end audit has a SOX component where they have to go in and make sure that you're maintaining the server room correctly. And there still might be a server room, but you've pushed it in the direction with moving Dynamics to the cloud. You've moved the Exchange server out. You've moved a line of business application out. And eventually, hopefully, these businesses can focus on what their main job is, and that's whatever it is they're charging their customers for, and not simply for IT maintenance.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that comes up quite a bit too, as organizations start to think about this, is concern over their data and the backup of data. I think sometimes when that room's not there, those people aren't there, there can be a discomfort developed around that too. But how do you think about backup, and how do you coach some of your customers to think about it as they shift to the cloud?
Well, I mean, at one time, I remember when Dynamics was first coming out in the cloud, and well, even before that, I remember when Salesforce came out and it was competing against Dynamics, and Dynamics was primarily on-premise and Salesforce was in the cloud, and nobody wanted to relinquish their data. But then there was a slow realization, just like you don't keep your money in a sock under your mattress anymore. You trust the bank, that the
Mm-hmm.
bank is going to hold that money for you, and that they'll actually be a safer location to store your money than if you were to store it in your home.
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes for Microsoft now. We trust Microsoft that they're able to store our data safely. Microsoft offers continuous backups. So, and most companies never even used to do that. You used to have 5 tapes for Monday to Friday, 1 tape for each month, and you'd rotate those tapes, and somebody would be responsible for taking the tapes home at night, so they weren't on the premise. Now with Microsoft doing your backups for you in the cloud, you got continuous backup. And even what they offer with the production environment, they hold it for 28 days. So any point in a 28-day month period, you can roll back. And on your sandbox environments, you got 7 days worth of backups continuously available to you. So I think companies feel much more safer with Microsoft maintaining these backups now than maintaining it themselves.
Right. And just staying too on the line of, continuous and kind of always there. I mean, obviously moving to the cloud has significant impact on your uptime as well, right? And so when we think about that, how do you kind of help your customers see the value of, a 4.9 SLA, for example, and our unwavering commitment to our customers to be there?
Yeah, everybody always talks about the 4.9. So is your system up 99.99% of the time? And the nice thing is with Microsoft maintaining it, they hold a service level agreement where they're telling you we are going to have 4.9s of uptime, where for any roll-ups or minor upgrades, you're not going to experience any downtime whatsoever. And you think about that, if normally you'd have people coming into your server room at night and running these updates on the system or on the server, or even for that matter, they might do it during the day. With Microsoft doing it, you don't have to worry about it. They're doing that for you. And for major upgrades, they schedule them, and it's scheduled for a certain time window that they'll do the major upgrade in. So yeah, your uptime is definitely, you have a much safer feeling with Microsoft handling that uptime.
Yeah. And I think, as we've all had to shift to kind of working from home, selling from home, customer service from home, marketing from home, everything, the uptime has actually become, I think, more critical, and the cloud has become foundational to executing, especially when you're thinking about enabling your employees coast to coast, right? And how do you support them from wherever they are, right? So I think that we've talked a little bit about some, how roles are impacted. We talked about all the people who support the server room and how that has had to transform. And I would love to get into that, but I know, in the theme of continuous and always going, we both have plenty to do, and we need to probably go do a little bit of our day job. But I would love to continue learning with you, and I think we can pick up from the people conversation the next time we connect.
Yeah, well, it's great. Hey, I had a great time chatting with you, Cassaundra.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll talk to you soon, Ron. Bye.
Bye.